welcome back to another Tera Plays Tera video. Alright, so in today's video, we are going to be covering the in-game changes to Tera Console, the 132 update in the actual game itself. I want to talk about stuff, cover changes, and just go over things briefly. Now, to understand, there are some things that I will cover briefly in this and create separate videos of. To be straight up forward, those things will be like the difficulty difference between, hard mode and hard mode 1. Basically, when running RK-9 hard or Forbidden Arena hard, you can change them to be even more difficult. So we'll cover that briefly, and then etching, crafting, and just crafting in general will also be covered in a separate video. Now again, I am going to show stuff, I am going to explain stuff in this video because that stuff is important, but just know I'm not going to go into very high detail. So the first thing is dungeons. Well, RK-9 is out, RK-9 hard. It drops a bunch of good loots. The biggest thing is the Vanguard credit, the Broken Shard of Enchanted Steel. Right now, there's, for the next few days, I don't know if this video will come out by then, before the event is over, but on release, you can get, 1 built Dark Shard and weapon, and then 3 built armor stones. This is just for clearing hard mode. You do not have to do the advanced version, and last boss actually has like 4 different versions you could technically do, because RK-9 normally has RK-9 hard and extreme, and now there's RK-9 hard, extreme, hard 1, and extreme 1 technically. So yeah, that's all, Timescape, they did make the changes. The dungeons, you can easily teleport from first to second boss. Same thing with Acheron's Inferno. There's teleporters after all those bosses. And yeah, that's all the dungeon stuff. Nothing too crazy to cover. The good old shops have been reset. Of course, I already bought my card boxes from this guy, but you can rebuy everything from this guy. The Ancient Dungeon Essence shop has been reset as well. So it's very nice. You could buy all the stuff from this gentleman. So that's very nice as well. And then these shops have also had some adjustments that I want to cover. The 100,000 Elenu coin or gold coin you can buy. It is once per account. You can get 50. Of course, the regular ones, you can get 200 of these, and they are per character. The common card crate is also per character, so you can buy 100. Very simple, run Ravenous Gorge, run Democron's Factory normal, and you can get a bunch of card boxes from here. They've made some changes to Oath. Oath. Oath, you can also get 100k gold, but this time you can get it 5 times. This is per account as well. It is not per character. So basically you can get a total of every week a free 600k by running the lower tier dungeons. Again, you can get more by getting the regular Elenu coins that are per character. The card shop, I believe this one is per count, I know. Not 100% sure. I believe this is per character, but it may be per count. And then, of course, all of this stuff is in there. Then we got the Kaya's Core. This is per character. This is per account. I know for a fact the blue one is per account, and the rest of the stuff is just the standard stuff that's in here. And then we have the Annihilation shop that's changed a bit. Elenu coin is again per character. Secession Runestone is, I believe, per account, along with the rare etching exchange. Oh yeah, it says right there per account. I'm just blind. we could double check the gold one, is per account. My bad. I do apologize. I'm just out of it. But, you know, so you can get one rare exchange coin. Don't mix this up. In my original patch note video, I mixed this up with the new etchings. This is not. This is the same coin that you would get for the season here that you get from this shop over here. It's that same exact coin. And basically it guarantees you one etching of your choice for your armor. So in other words, you can get a guaranteed, you know, 10% damage that might crit to 12 for your, you know, weapon. You could get the cooldown for your weapon, damage cooldown for gloves, the power or the strength, endurance, HP for like the shoes and armor. It grants you a guaranteed one, whichever one you want, and it's per account, and that's it. And then of course we got the high training books, the fluorite Niviate stones, and all of that good stuff. So there's all of that. We're gonna go and use that actually to segue into our training book pages, because they've made quite a few changes with that. But yeah, so that's all that stuff. Alright, double checking because I want to make sure I cover everything that I feel like is insanely important. PvP, I'm gonna make a whole separate video of if I can. I'm not really a huge fan of PvP. PvP has a lot of changes though, a lot of cool changes. I am not going to take too much time on covering PvP because I'm gonna be flat out with this. I don't PvP in games anymore. I haven't really PvP'd since Gears of War. I don't hate it. I'm just not, like, I'm not someone that does that style anymore. Tera, it seems like I will need to slowly build up and get into it. But I just don't feel comfortable talking about PvP when I don't even do PvP. So the next thing we'll cover, because I have it right here, is training book pages. You can now buy ultimate training books. They've changed the prices on the training books. They've made some adjustments to dismantling and buying. But like I said, you can guaranteedly buy the ultimate training book, which, you know, has a slightly higher promotion to training. They've also added a ton of training books to crafting. So the next thing we're going to talk about is just overall crafting. Because this is a major change. Again, I'm not going to dive too deep into it, you know, but they have added the destruction training books 4 and 5 that, you know, here's the resources to craft them. They've added the bulwark ones, they've added the entangle, and this is what I really want to cover more, is the training book promotions. Now this is really useful because now you can, if you get enough high training books and enough training book pages and some opal and obsidian silixes, it is about 10,000 training book pages, I believe. It's either 10,000 or 100,000. My pages are covering it. And then 50 high training books. And this training book will automatically convert a pet from rare to legendary. So if you're struggling with getting your pet to legendary, I would highly recommend saving up and getting this. And then we'll cover some etching stuff as well. And before we get into that, I do want to show that right now, if you want any of the recipes, you could come to the processing shop. You can easily buy training book Destruction 3, 4, and 5, Bulwark, Entanglement, and all of these. These books that used to drop in Manaya's core do not drop there anymore, of course, because it's not in the dungeon. And this is why I really wanted to cover this in this video, is that they actually added these, you know, books, the, you know, recipes, finally to the processing materials and merchants. So That is very nice. I'm glad that they finally did that. Etching is the same thing. You could come over to the etchings, and they did add the designs for the earth as well as the storms. And again, like I said, I'm not going to dive into crafting these in this video. I'm going to build up a bunch of stuff and make a video specifically for these etchings, but I do want to, briefly touch on what they are. So as far as doing your weapon, body armor, footwear, you're still going to use the etchings that you get from dungeons, but now you can craft the Earth Accessory Imprint 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as the Storm Accessory Imprint 1, 2, 3, and 4. But right now, you can craft your necklace and your ring, earring, and belt. So necklace and earrings are together, rings and belts are together. Brooch, as of right now, I don't know where they want us to obtain that, besides the mysterious etchings. Now, do understand, Imprint 4 is only going to give you up to 7 or 14 power / crit. So if you still want to mid-max and get that 8 power or 16 crit, you will still have to roll your, mysterious etchings. You'll still have to pay the diamond and the 100 mysterious powders. To craft these, it's basically the same for each one. You'll need Titan's Earth, Titan's Storm. So, it makes sense. You're making the Earth Accessory Imprint, you need Titan's Earth. You need the Titan's Storm and Titan's Storm to make the Storm Accessory. You'll need Mysterious Powder 500. For this one, you need your Titan's Storm. Obviously, the upgraded version. You'll need the Imprint 1 from before, and then you need 750, then you need 1000, and of course the last one needs the highest storm, as well as a harmonious imbalance and 3000 mysterious powder. This is very, very expensive in my opinion, because 3000, that's 30 tries, 1000 is an additional 10, so that's 40, 750, we're now at 47, plus 5, we're at 53 tries, or I think I did that math right. We're at over 50 tries just to get a guaranteed storm accessory. Like I said, I do want to make a video on this. I do want to be interested, is the brooch in either of these, as well as how much storm accessories does it take to even buy the permanent or buy the 7 etching. Again, it's going to be something worth improving. I do think it will be good to get your etching craft or your etching craft up, because in the future they're planning on probably adding more to this system. So even though I'm going to say right now, you want to go more towards like working probably the mysterious etchings, this is also a good route to get your store or get accessories if you don't want to waste diamonds. And I want to make sure I'm right about that, because I want to make sure, harmonious imbalance doesn't take any diamonds, it just takes a bunch of freaking resources. And of course, making all the, lucids takes a bunch of resources. But field stones have also changed. That's the next thing we'll go from here. Yeah, I think I've covered just about everything but the field stones. I don't think I missed really anything else that's worth covering from the patch notes that wasn't covered in the previous video of actually talking about patch notes. Obviously, pets, white rolls have been changed to green. And now, I don't know if they just color-coded, but a few of my friends who had white rolls said, hey, I know before I had, this white roll, and it was like 1.3% damage, and now I have a green roll that's 1.3% damage. So Clearly, they might have just changed the color, they might have not done anything else. Hard to say, but you can't roll whites anymore. I don't know if that's just their way of when those rolls get rolled off that they'll disappear, or if, you know, they just bumped all the whites up to green and people will hopefully be happier seeing green. I don't really have the pets to like double check all that. I don't really focus pets after I've gotten my one pet roll. So within that, the next thing we're gonna check is the Island of Dawn fieldstones can now drop from these higher level BAMs. So yeah, I'm going to at this point kill maybe 10 or 20 and see what the drop rate is like. So we'll do a quick montage on this section.
On the floor, reads the signals, ready to soar. Wind up in a slam flash before my eyes, but I've been training, I improvise. Chill on the cool down, leap out of the phase. Victory is close as the music plays. I see the warning, colors all around. Every little step, don't get knocked down. Holding my breath as the swipes attack. Memphis got the rhythm, never looking back. What is a mechanic? Whoa, don't hurt me no more. What is a mechanic?
Okay, so either I have the wrong section of BAMs, which it shouldn't be, because the patch note says Lieutenant Monsters. Yeah, patch note says fieldstones can now be obtained hunting Lieutenant Monsters. Yeah, we'll fly around. The one thing I want to check is if I claim this real quick, do they mean it's in the Dawn Storms? I'm feeling like it's not. Etchings. I wonder if it's meant to be in this token shop, because that says Etchings and none of this is Etchings. So I'm thinking they might have made a mistake, or it's meant to be in other, because Accessory Etching 3, that would be, you know, just to get the basic etching still. We'll fly around Island of Dawn real quick and see. Maybe, I mean, yeah, because I got Enchanted Fashion. It's not from there. Nope. Yeah, I'll fly around Island Dawn real quick. We'll see. Maybe they added BAMs to Island of Dawn that I am unaware of. But as it stands, I killed quite a few of those. Unless it's from these little effers. Let's see. Let's see if it's from the Caimans real quick. We're not gonna get a Caiman to pop out. No, in my luck. If they added it to the Caimans, that's gonna be very frustrating. Because it shouldn't. It's in the Iron Giants. Nope. We can claim some ore while we're here too. Just because ores also have a jackpot drop for fieldstones or metal. we got the Cayman stash. We're gonna teleport back. Actually, I think I could just view it. Diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, rubies, arboreal, silver, gold plate. Okay, so I'll have to yeah, I'll reach out to the dev and see what they mean by lieutenant monsters, and see, because after killing the amount I killed, it just to me doesn't make sense. I know PC, I think it was more of the fan servers, they added like really tough monsters to kill on Island of Dawn, and I don't see anything that looks like it was added. So I'm not too sure what they meant by lieutenant, you know, fieldstones can now be attained from lieutenant monsters on Island of Dawn. The only thing I could think of is looking at the Dawnstorm stuff, that they meant to add it there and they didn't, so it should be resolved within like hopefully a few weeks. And then the other thing I'm gonna talk to them about, I gotta make a list of a few things to actually discuss with them, is that personally, and you can let me know in the comments section what you think about this idea, but I think the, you know, current Vanguards that are 40 should be half of what RG is. So in other words, you know, the Battle Masters, the Iron Giants, and the Onyx Hydralisks or whatever, the ones that give the highest, should be 250 credits. Should be half of Ravenous Gorge. And then, you know, make the other ones like 150, make it 50. Or make it, you know, 200 and 150 for the solos. Meaning, you know, these guys give 250. And then the, where is it? Make these guys give 250 each. For Vanguards, make these guys give either 150 or 200. And make these guys give 50 or 150. Type of thing. We'll see if the devs like the idea. We'll see if they actually go with it. I don't know if they will or won't. But yeah, that is all of the changes of Tera Console that I think I covered everything major at least. Let me know if I missed anything. If I did, I'll gladly go over it. Like I said, as far as those like crafting stuff, I'm gonna make a more specific video dedicated to definitely the etching crafting, and more specific video for showing off the two versions of a hard mode 1 versus a hard mode boss. So within that, that is the end of this video. Please like if you enjoyed this video and made it this far. Comment any questions you got. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Tera Console content. With that, I hope you all have a fantastic day and or night. And as always, I hope to see you in Arborea, gamers.